tonight we are playing the Red Hand of Doom.
Who's got a mic going?
Oh,
Turn the
sorry.
TV off.
Can't. He's watching it.
Okay, where was I? The Red Hand of Doom! Although we're social distancing now.
How is that different than a normal week?
Uh-huh. Anyway, in the doobly-doo down below, please check out a list of our sister shows and our link to our Extra Life charity for sick kids hospital in Toronto. But without further ado, take it away, Patrick.
Thank you, Stephanie. Welcome everyone to tonight's game. I will be the DM running everything. Joining me tonight are
Ian, and I'll be playing Augustus Constantine, the Forged Cleric of Moradin.
You're echoing stuff.
Multiple copies of it.
I don't know how because I didn't hit it.
Test, am I still echoing?
You're good now.
Thankfully, there's only one of you.
One is enough.
That was a bit mean. I'm sorry. But my name is Chris, and I am playing Radigan Conover, the human artificer.
And hello, I'm Lorne, and I am playing Curious, the Goliath Monster Hunter Ranger.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tara. I shall be playing Cithrin, the Silver Dragonborn Great Weapon Fighter, disguised as the White Dragonborn Vasa.
I am Brendan, and I will be playing the Great Ezekiel, a wonderful, wonderful half-elven bard.
I'm Stephanie, and I'll be playing Cassandra Bowman Whitaker, fangirl and divination wizard.
excellent. And last session, alongside your allies Warkelnaw the ancient forest giant and Jor the tracker, the party crept up to the edge of the Skull Gorge Bridge. You saw over the gorge the sentries and guards that they had set up there, including Young Green Dragon, and off in the distance on Cinder Hill in the back, you could actually see large plumes of smoke, which made you wonder exactly how large the camp over there was. And you started devising a plan, but unfortunately were spotted by a sentry. And with that, the battle began. Curious, during the battle, charged up one of the towers, killing the sentry, and then leapt immediately off of the turret onto a hellhound and continued attacking. Augustus took the forge bomb that he and Radigan had made out onto the bridge, facing down a couple of the hellhounds while looking for a weak spot on the bridge. The great Ezekiel bathed this young green dragon in a purple aura, which allowed Warkelnaw to target it freely, delivering crushing blows with boulders. Ezekiel also did his best to keep Augustus conscious, which was not easy as the hobgoblin archers kept teeing off on whoever was on the bridge, most notably Augustus. Cassandra tossed fireballs at the hobgoblin and worm speaker Koth at the other end of the bridge, who responded in kind. And Radigan and his turret took out some sentries, killed one of the hellhounds, and then acted as a brave field medic when not blasting enemies down, also attempting kind of futilely to keep Augustus on his feet. Cithrin charged the bridge, finally lit the fire to set the bomb off, and placed it over the weak point, all while fighting off the hellhound and avoiding the fusillade of arrows from the far side. Prevented by Ezekiel from turning invisible, the dragon charged Warkelnaw, who managed to club the beast as it flew past, killing it instantly and sending it tumbling into the gorge. But a hail of arrows then took down the old giant, and he followed the dragon down. A glorious warrior's death. Collecting your comrades, you guys fled as the bomb exploded and the mighty bridge collapsed. After the battle, flying out over the rubble, Ezekiel was unable to find Wormlord Koth's remains, but did find Warkelnaw buried under a pile of rubble that was too heavy to remove, sadly. You guys then wandered back into the woods, set up your camp, celebrated your victory, and toasted your fallen ally. We wake the next morning where you guys have come to. Jor has, already been out hunting and has some breakfast set up and ready to go for you guys. But he is also looking a little shaken and also a little excitable as well, as he sort of welcomes you all out into the mornings. You all wake refreshed, leveled up to level 6. What would you guys like to do?
Well, we got to get the word back to town. Right? That's the next step.
Yeah. Yes, that is the next step. Those poor people. And I also have to pick up Heidi.
Radigan emerges from his tent, and he's got what looks like a series of brass pipes in his hand. He's kind of blowing out some brass shavings. Is like, oh yeah, we got to run ourselves down to town, get everyone evacuated. Think we've slowed them down, but they can probably make it. That army up on that hill could probably make it still through the woods, given enough time, fording enough rivers. So we've probably bought them a couple of weeks.
That is a good idea, but it's probably not time for an enema. As I point to your new device.
Oh no, this is just something I'm working on. Little party favor for when the time comes, and he blows across the top of it, and you hear some sort of very squeaky sounding hollow tones coming from it, and just kind of looks down at it, and he's like,
"Oh,
that's not
gross!
gonna work."
Don't put your mouth on it.
And he kind of thinks for a second, then throws it across the fire towards the great Ezekiel and says, "Give that a try if you don't mind."
All right. Ezekiel's going to try to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on it.
Where'd everybody go?
Yeah, did everyone else just drop everyone else in the party on
Yeah.
20?
I just see me.
Yeah, I see me
Nope,
and nobody
see
else.
everybody.
I only see
Mike-
At the
myself.
bottom.
My connection has been interrupted.
Time for a refresh. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
I just lost everyone now.
I'm still
There's
good.
my actual physical dice.
Everyone is dropped. Refresh.
Everyone is dropping.
Refresh is
Radigan
working.
back. Wait, was
Okay.
I the only one who didn't drop? Oh no, now my connection is
I
being
refreshed.
interrupted. Apparently.
Aha!
Yeah, I just hit refresh.
Wow, it opened up a different page for me too.
It's still loading in for me. I think Roll20 has just officially cacked out.
They're struggling a bit with the number of people playing on it compared to normal.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I'm while it loads back up, I'm going to roll a physical d20 for performance.
We'll see how good of a performance check it is if he rolls a 1 and tries to say it's a 20.
14, which is +4 for charisma and then +3, so that's 23.
23,
Or no,
yeah.
21. 21. I can math.
It's 20. You forgot your -1.
Oh, damn it. I'm nearly
20 is still,
right now.
yeah, in the morning, there's still a few shavings, but, your embouchure sort of warms up. And yeah, you were able to make oh, I'm down again in Roll20. I can do most of this one Theater of the Mind, so that's okay. But yeah, so you blow through and it makes this lovely melody to your ears, but you see everybody else's faces, almost turn ashen. I need everyone to make is it a wisdom saving throw?
It's a wisdom save of 15.
What did I just do to the party?
Don't worry about it. Come on, character sheet, load up.
My connection is down again.
Well, boo earns. Well, I got a character sheet. I failed the save against my own thing. Awesome.
I got
Curious.
a nat 20.
Nat 20.
Wisdom save, wisdom save. Not bad.
Nice.
I get +1 to saves too.
+1 doesn't save you from a DC 15.
Nope, the coat don't help me now.
Jor makes his save.
So both Ian and Steph are currently away from the computer getting their food ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, Radigan. Well, I'll wait until they're back to find out what I've just done to the party. Using a convenient patsy.
You know, Radigan does like experimenting on himself.
Listen, one day the prosthetic limbs will happen, but not today.
Yeah, Radigan travels to Eberron and comes back Dr. Octopus.
I don't
Yeah,
believe
that would actually be cool.
Radigan actually has a doctorate.
Got a doctorate in mad science.
That new unearthed arcana for spells and for the tattoos clearly point towards a planescape
It looks
book,
a lot
if not
like
adventure coming.
Yeah. Now, here's the next question. Is it going to be Planescape or is it going to be a Spelljammer? Like they've been hinting for a while.
I want a Proctor Ravnica campaign.
Ravnica.
They're not going back to Ravnica.
They actually are.
They just left Ravnica in the thing. There's been like 2 sets since they last had a
next
Ravnica.
book they're releasing is Ravnica.
Oh wait, is Guildmaster's Guide not out?
Oh wait, Ravnica? Oh no,
No.
I'm thinking wrong.
Yeah, no, it's another Magic the Gathering, but it's not Ravnica. It's the Greek gods one.
Theros.
Yeah, Theros.
And yet they haven't ever released a 5th edition Mystara.
The Mystic Odysseys of Theros. It's coming out in June. I have it pre-ordered.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've given drips and drabs of Mystara in flavor text, but yeah, nothing in terms of adventures or anything like that.
Yeah. Wait, which one's Mystic?
There's like a 1 to 5 or whatever in, I think, the Guildmaster's Guide, and that's it. Or like something even smaller, maybe.
I forget whose campaign
We have to
Mystara
go get
was.
Krenko.
Christopher. did
Yeah, I was going
Mystara.
to say.
Yeah. No, I forget who wrote Mystara though. It wasn't Gygax because Greyhawk was his campaign.
Yeah, no, it's a box set that they released for 2nd edition, and it's their version of the Adriatic, and like it was their other version of sort of Greece and that kind of thing. So it was Greece and then Northern Africa.
Cool.
So obviously Theros will, replace it for this edition. But there's a couple of very famous characters that came out of it. And you'll hear bits and bobs about it.
Theros is where the picture for Ian's character in Wednesday Night. It's a
Really?
character from that plane.
Oh, okay.
You mean Tuesday night?
I mean, Wednesday Night.
Which one do I use on Wednesday? I'm trying to think now.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
literally, Wednesday was last night.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what my token looks like.
It's if you Google, it's Kytheon.
Are we all back?
Steph is just sitting down.
Right.
All right. I need a wisdom save from Cassandra.
She doesn't have her headset on, but I did tell her.
Sorry about that detour, anybody who is still watching. Literally only Radigan has an effect. So Radigan, what happens to you?
Radigan everyone here is just this most, yeah, like Patrick described it. It's just this like grating and like really like terrifying melody, and then Radigan just kind of backs away and disappears back into his tent for like,
Muttering, what have I done? What have I done?
what have I done? For like a minute, and then he gets to save every round. So eventually he'll come out,
What did they
half
do
a
to
minute
you?
later, and be like, "Oh wow, those worked a lot better than I thought they would."
That has
Nobody
got to
else had-
be the fastest enema I have ever witnessed.
I think nobody else was affected. Everyone else stood here.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was kind
one
of
of them threw a tomato at me, but
yeah, I was kind of expecting that from this lot, but against some hobgoblins, it should work pretty well. And you look down and do you speak Dwarvish?
I do.
well, obviously you do. I don't believe I do. Hang on.
Yeah.
No. Elvish, Undercommon, and Common.
Right. Okay. So there's some Dwarvish runes on the back, and there's a bunch of like other runes as well all over the thing. And he'll basically describe it for you sort of later, but essentially it's a set of pipes of the haunting.
Does Radigan speak Dwarfish?
He does.
Damn it! So I can't say, "Oh, that says number 3 with rice."
No,
Pipes
this
of
is number
haunting.
3 with rice, and then he starts like shooting dwarven runes with his gun at Gus's feet.
As
So,
all
yeah.
this is happening, Jor just, like he's been bottled up, just says, I want to go to Cinder Hill. I want to see what's coming.
So you're gonna ride
Cinder Hill
out.
is where?
That was what was on the other side of the bridge.
Oh, okay.
You want to head out to Cinder Hill right now?
He says, yeah, I can. We can take some of the pass along the far side, and I can get us up through the hills in a few hours. It won't cost us long, but I wasn't expecting a dragon yesterday, and I didn't think it would be that many.
Trust us, neither did we.
Yeah, the hellhounds weren't either something we were expecting.
Might be worth a couple of hours in order to get the scale of this army that they've got out there.
I agree. We didn't know, like, in character, we didn't know his name was Wormspeaker, right? The previous day?
You did. You picked up the fact that worm speakers were what they were called when you found the notes at Vrath Keep.
We probably should have put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, but people are called worm this and dragon that all the time.
Worm tongue.
Yeah. So Jor tells you he can basically take you along this path along the edge here, and you guys will get a view over top of Cinder Hill on the other side of the river.
Well, let's saddle up then, and we're in the middle of the deep woods, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm leading horses as opposed to riding them, but that's fine.
And if he leads you in through the woods, and eventually you find a trail that you're following crests this sort of rugged ridge, sparsely covered with these sort of wind-twisted pine trees. And then as you head across and walk along this ridge, eventually you find yourself looking across a broad vale with rugged knob-like hills or small, mountains on the opposite side. So you guys have made your way to about there and are scouting across now. And you can see the Dawn Way, cuts through the valley here on the other end of the Skull Gorge Bridge. A ribbon of sort of pale stone leading past the towering heights of these hills. The valley, though, is filled with a great encampment. Hundreds of crude tents dot the valley floor, interspersed with bulky siege engines, groups of wagons, and pens for draft beasts. You can easily make out hundreds of warriors in view at any given time, and bands of goblin warg riders patrol the camp's outskirts. Battalions of fierce hobgoblins engage in mock battles with martial shouts and the clang of steel on steel. You see hulking hill giants plodding from place to place. And flying atop over all of it, you see a scarlet-colored dragon lazily circling above the camp. This is not necessarily a small siege. This is a camp of an army numbering in the thousands.
We can take them.
So we delayed.
We cannot take them.
We delayed them. We didn't stop them. We need help.
We need a bunch of help.
And
Well, I mean, that's
Jor
our
is looking over this, and he's looking at the road and the bridge, and he says, through the trees, yeah, maybe 4 days, maybe.
We
4
need
days we didn't have.
So we've delayed him by half a week. Oh wait, no, we don't know what a week is.
a 10-day.
Less
We
than
delayed
half-
them by half
less
a
than
10-day.
half- Yeah, less than half a 10-day.
Better than nothing.
As I said, it's 4 days we didn't have before.
We need to get word to someone else. Someone much more numerous or stronger than us.
If we get into town, they maybe can send some word to Brindle or talk to the dwarves or maybe the elves out and rest. And he points out sort of past out over here onto your map, and where you see sort of the marshes and things way out there. He says, out in Rest, I think there's still some elves that live in the woods out there that they might help. Them's the ones that made these boots you gave me.
How many elves?
And he just sort of shakes his head and says, don't know. There's some. It's an encampment, but I don't leave my woods. I don't get out there. I just know they're there.
Jor,
then-
What's the nearest major city, Patrick?
You guys are a long, long way from a major city. Brindle itself, let me pull up the basic map. So right now you guys are about here. And so he just pointed out Lake Reston and the Black Fens over there.
did the map switch for anyone else?
No, map
Nope.
isn't up yet.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Sorry.
We're still on the witch.
Roll 20 is just a little tired tonight.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. All right. So you guys are currently there. He just pointed out the elves in and around this area.
And then my people are over here, right?
Yeah, on the Endless Plains. Now, Brindle is there. It's not a major town, but it's the largest town in this region.
Does it have a
And
wall?
it does.
If memory serves, back when we first found their battle plans, which actually showed their battle map and their planned progressive route, they were going to go through Drellin's Ferry, Territon, Nimmin Gap, Chalar, and end up at Brindle. And that's where we said to send the people because it was the most defensible place.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
also
but we
gonna,
thought
like-
it was hundreds, not thousands.
Yeah, they were also gonna like send like break off companies down to Doth and Prosser and probably up to Witchcross, maybe even up to the Black Fens too.
And they have harassing units already in that area now.
All right.
Or they have someone who's gone through. Obviously,
Like
You
it was
know.
an intelligence report, and it made reference to the fact that they possibly had people doing prep work for the main assault in those areas.
Okay.
so you can see up here, they know the elves are up here in this area.
Which area? The
Near
You can see
Fens.
where Yeah,
Black
yeah,
Rest.
up near Rest.
They're in the Black
You
Fence.
see sunken ruins, maybe elves.
Oh, swamp. They're swamp elves, right?
Seems like it.
Time's an illusion, and so are pants, kids.
Okay.
Mhm.
So first things first. I mean,
Avatar?
Yes.
Augustus
Swamp
can probably send word to someone decently high enough up that will at least take his words and as not some fanciful made up nonsense and actually a credible threat. So we can at least warn them and try and get them to help in making a stand. We're gonna have to go see those elves because they're not gonna believe us otherwise.
And the
That's a
holds?
long way out of the way.
The dwarves down here, maybe?
How long is it going to take us to do that route, though? Or are we going to have to
Yeah.
split up?
We've got
Split the
4
party, split the party, split the
Not
party.
split the
Yo,
party that far.
Well, the good news is that we did send word to Drellin's Ferry that they were coming and that we were going to do all we could to slow them down, but we didn't know how long we were going to give them.
No, and you know that. I mean, the mayor in Drellin's Ferry thought there was maybe 100.
Right. So
Can we get word back as to the actual size of the force that's coming down on them?
You guys can. I mean, you guys
Augustus,
were
you
heading
should
back
send
there.
But
Hey,
honestly,
look-
I think honestly our time is better spent trying to gather up more allies. If we can send word to them saying, "Hey, this is how many you're facing. Go talk to whatever other group we're not talking to. See what we can do to get their help." Or we go and approach, like, say, the elves, and then have them go talk to the dwarves or something.
Yeah, like looking at the map, if someone were to leave from Drellin's Ferry for Hammerfist, they'd get there a hell of a lot faster than we would. Like it's just simple math, and they'd be able to then try and set up a place. But right now it looks like, based on the plans that we got, Brindle is the best place to make a stand.
Jor, and I sort of take our map of the area and I sort of show it to Jor and I say, if we head down to Drellin's Ferry and then we make up towards Rest across the Witchwood, back up across the Witchwood and through the fens, do you think that would take more than 4 days?
Oh, yeah. Get a boat up the river. That'll save you some time. If you're going by horses, you're looking at quite a few days across there. But yeah, get a boat up through the swamp and then across. It'll save you some time, but you're looking at moving fast. Probably circling around. You're still looking at maybe a 10-day at best, and that's if you're riding flat out. But Drellin's Ferry up the river is the fastest way. There is another old trade road on the other side that'll get you up there too. But well, I don't know. 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
The Rest Trail, and I point out the trail over here.
Aye, and so that way, like if you take the river, that'll go around the bridge. I mean, frankly, if we still had the bridge, you could have crossed the bridge and cut a lot of time. But now you got to go back through Drellin's Ferry and cut back. And frankly, you got to tell the town what they're really facing.
I think if we tell the town, someone's going to give us a few boats to go get more allies.
Yeah, so that God, why do we keep finding ourselves in these situations? All right.
We're heroes.
All right.
That's what heroes do. They find themselves in bad situations.
Yeah, simply
Where
the
we're running back and forth
instrument
between
of
towns,
quality.
heading off our.
You're heroes.
Nah, you're a hero as well. You've saved us several times.
All right.
Cithrin's-
Down to Drellin.
No, it's okay.
All right. So down to Drellin's Ferry, and then we'll go from there. Maybe we can get someone from Drellin's Ferry to hit the dwarves up. That might save us some time if we don't have to go there too.
That was my idea.
of
Like
that-
us go to the elves and them go to the dwarves if they were closer. Yeah.
Well, the dwarves
Oh.
and the elves are in opposite directions, aren't they?
Yes. So
Yeah, so we pick one person to go to, and I assumed it would have been the elves because I think we're closer to the elves and Drellin's Ferry. Send word to Drellin's Ferry. Send word to Drellin's Ferry. Tell them, hey, you're facing an actual army, not just a couple dozen hobgoblins. Just like y'all are in some deep shit here. Pardon my French. And then have them go to the dwarves and be like, look, we're going to go to the elves, you guys go to the dwarves, and then we're going to meet here, make a stand kind of thing.
We must say that in 25 words or less. If we want to send a message.
let me see if I can
X
write this
number of forces allied against us.
Goblin
Send for
armies.
help to dwarves.
Army
We are asking elves
thousands.
for help. That's less than 25 words.
Yep, so we can send that to the mayor. Because it's a day's travel back, right? So we can get them going before we get back.
Yeah, it's going to be a day and a half travel back. And that's going at a fast pace.
Well, then the next day I can send a further message, or I can actually send 2 messages today. If we really need to. Or 3.
We'll send as many messages as we have to get the full thing across. But that was Cithrin's idea. We go to the elves, send word to the ferry, and have them go to the dwarves for aid.
Yep, we can do that.
All right, are you
Closer now than the
sending a message?
I guess, yeah, the message will be to the mayor, because we met the mayor when we went last time we were there, right?
Yes, Speaker Whiston.
Yeah, I think that's the best option.
So we'll send one there.
That's 21 words. I don't know if the town's actually named Breland.
Close enough.
It's not Breland.
Isn't it Drellin?
Something
Drellin's
like that.
Ferry.
It's yeah.
We
That's
would
not
have
the
looked
right
at the other
spelling, but
map
it's
and written it
it's
down.
the sen-
That's
sentiment.
Add in the red dragon. So thousands of hobgoblins plus red dragon, and red dragon, something like that.
That's what I had so far.
Brindal is the town. Brindal.
Army 1,000 strong, Red Dragon, flee and regroup, seek it. I would say instead of flee and regroup, flee to
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the town.
yeah. So actually name where we're going to regroup.
Flee
don't
and
say
entrench in Brindle.
I thought we had giants.
No, they have hill giants. We had one giant.
All right.
No S on ours, just the one.
We'll try to enlist elves and rendezvous there at Brindle, because we still got a couple words at the end. Either way, we'll figure it out, and because we've got 3 really good ideas to get a message across. So let's just hand wave say,
Yeah.
hey, we're able to figure it out and send it off.
Yeah. And that last one gives all the very pertinent information that's
Yep.
needed. That basically says we're fucked if we don't do something right now.
Yeah, I think
Where is? I recognize that we are really far from major cities, but where is the nearest major city? Like, which one is it?
I think it's Brindle, isn't it?
No, major city.
It is major city?
Yeah.
Neverwinter.
Oh. Yeah, you
Neverwinter
are
or Waterdeep
or Luskin. You guys are
well, not Luskin.
weeks and weeks away from there.
Even if we don't handle this, we need to get word to one of the bigger cities because they're gonna move.
Yeah, they need to come
They're
and
not
defend the
just
town.
taking Brindle and this is our prize.
I
Well, they
need to
might,
know
but
someone
that doesn't
now.
seem like the end goal. It's probably this is stage 1 of a 20-step plan.
Yeah, we need to get word to. I need to take something tomorrow and get word to Waterdeep because I got connections in Waterdeep.
Once we get to rest, we'll try to send a message out from there.
So you guys passed through Luskin. Didn't Gus didn't meet anybody of any of that he could pass a message on to in there that he trusts?
I
It's
don't know,
Luskin.
did we?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it's a
wait!
hive of scum and villainy.
Wait! Augustus, you met Cassandra's mentor in Luskin.
We can message the
Oh!
Arcane Brotherhood.
We could message the
Hey,
Arcane
yo!
Brotherhood. Yes.
They can teleport.
Yo, message to the Brotherhood. Yes, do that.
Can they teleport in armies though?
No, but I don't know if you've noticed. Wizards tend to hit above their weight.
Well, prepare a message and I will send it. That is 2 of my 3 messages, and I will reserve the 3rd for someone of my own choosing.
Either way, having the Arcane Brotherhood on our side against this, that's going to be a huge power balancing in our favor.
So, first message, Dremlin's Mare. Second message, Arcane Brotherhood guy. Third message, whoever was in power of the Centaurs when I left.
Yes.
All right. Your first message, you hear a huh from Speaker Whiston, and then a oh God. Oh, I'll convene the council. We'll have to meet when you get back. Oh no. And your second message to the Arcane Brotherhood, you hear a ooh. Well, that's where exactly?
I think we'll include Brindle.
Yeah.
We include Brindle as our.
Yeah. See, you hear him just say, most of the Brotherhood is gathered at where the remains of El Turel. It's fallen into hell.
Oh.
And the third message, you hear an older voice just say, oh, it's good to hear from you. We have seen the hobgoblins raising ruckus across the land. We will be happy to bring aid to Brindle.
All right.
Well, we've got someone, anyways.
With that, I'm assuming you guys take off to Drellin's Ferry.
Yeah, because we're gonna need.
How
boats
hard
as
would
the
it be to
back-
get across the bridge, the knot bridge, and just head straight to rest?
It's 200 feet straight down the gorge.
Yes, this is true. But I could-
say we
You
put
would
that across.
also know you would presumably have to get through at least a couple of advance guard or
Oof.
whomever is left after the bridge has fallen.
Yeah, they're not all at camp. They're patrolling.
Yeah.
We can't go that way.
Yeah, it would be a very stealthy gamble, and not all of you can fly across. So you know how large that bridge was.
I have a question. Like, what if we were to do something like that and sort of blaze a trail? Because I assume there's somewhere in that area.
Yeah, Jor will say that crossing the river is dangerous. It's certainly possible, but he would still suggest getting to Drellin's Ferry and getting a boat if you want to take anything up the river.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
get all the way into the middle of Lake Reston pretty quick, and then we could sort of hit the Blacklands pretty quick.
We could row right to rest.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically.
rest is a ruin, isn't it?
Rest is ruins, yeah. Rest
No,
it's a former kingdom. It's where a lot of these elves came from as guardians for the sort of swamp in the area. But yeah, Rest was a former grand kingdom that has sunk into the swamp itself.
Huge tracts of land.
They called me mad when I said I was going to build me castle in a swamp.
And he was.
All right, making your way then back through Drellin's Ferry with your horses and everything else. Everyone, if you're going at a flat out race, it will take you guys a day and a half. I will say with your passive perceptions, Ezekiel and Jor, I mean, he's going to sort of leave you guys at the edge of the forest. You do notice as you guys are traversing back through the woods, there are fresh tracks, and you find some occasional scat from wargs, which tells you that goblin riders are still in the area somewhere in and around the Witchwoods. And Jor, sort of grimly nods his head and just says, I'll help look after them. I'll harry them as they come through the woods with some of my ant friends, and we should be able to slow them down. Long days, pleasant nights to you, and may whoever you pray to look upon you with favor for the next little while. You're gonna need it.
Gods look upon us all. Be safe, Jor.
Much obliged, partner.
Stay
And
safe.
with-
I assume I would have seen that as well, considering I have a 20 passive.
Oh yeah. And so with that, you guys, continue your hectic pace. You make your way back down the roadway you went coming into Drellin's Ferry. You see the lieutenant and his sort of two guards, still waiting by the farms, but now they are clearly sort of more on guard. And you notice that as you're passing some of this farmland, there's still crops in the field, but you witness like boarded up windows on the farms and things like that. So it is a much different environment from when you first arrived. And you guys are able to hop on the barge. You are brought across the river, and Captain Sorana immediately sort of, espies you and waves, and, seeing the state of you, just says, go to the pub. I will bring Speaker Whiston. We will meet you and talk there.
All right, I go to the pub.
Let's move.
Lead people to the pub.
Yep. So you guys, you come in, you can immediately sort of drop your horses off, and, so you see Zahn, who's there, and you can see, whereas you saw her last time in sort of more casual gear, she had the air of sort of authority of a previous, sort of adventurer when she, sort of sold you your warhorse, Radigan. But you see now she is in leathers. She has a blade on, and she looks perfectly comfortable in it. She is someone who clearly has seen some battles back in her day.
Unfortunately, we can't see these battles because I don't think we have lights.
Yeah.
None of you were on the map yet, so that's
Aha.
why.
That would make sense then.
Yeah, I had to wait for y'all to level up.
Woo!
Do 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 do.
Secrets only 6th level characters are meant to see.
So, okay, if there's anything in water now, I should be the one to go after it because I know how to swim now.
Awesome.
None of us know how to swim.
Technically
I
speaking,
have an actual swimming speed and I have a climb speed.
I can pony paddle a bit.
I can swim.
yeah, I think we can all technically swim doing athletics checks, but Curious has like a swimming speed, so he'd be the best one at it.
Yeah, you guys go half speed as opposed to Curious, who goes his regular speed.
Yeah.
Go speed.
I can also climb regular speed.
Nice.
All right,
There
so
we go.
you guys make it into the bar at the inn, and Cassandra, the first thing you see is Heidi Cat curled up on the bar, just kind of purring contentedly,
Heidi!
and she will immediately sort of fly to your side.
She was never worried about you.
Snuggle Boogle Baby. She was, I can tell. Snuggle Wuggle Baby.
And Kellen, the, behind the bar, will immediately sort of pop up and see you and just say, Oh God, you're back. Sit. We've got food and drink. The speaker shared a bit of the news, and he immediately starts sort of looking at the other customers and says, sorry, we need to sort of close for this." And you can see he's sort of walking around and hustling people out, and you see Jarrett from the shop, looks sort of a little put out, but sort of stands, and Brother Durney, just sort of stands up, shakes your hand, Gus, and smiles at you, Ezekiel, and just says, you are looking better. It's good to see you. You, having spent another day, Ezekiel, no longer have any minuses. You are back to normal.
Yay! I am back to the great Ezekiel, rather than the good.
I mean,
And,
you're so.
They're kind of okay, Ezekiel.
Yeah, and you guys would have seen coming in through the town that there are now many more people set up in the green in the center of town. Like, there are tents, so it is very clear that people have, come to the town from the farmland around here for some sort of protection. And as you are sort of seated with food and drink, you see the town speaker, Whiston, steps into the inn's common room. His appearance is sort of disheveled. You can tell his hair is messed up. Even without any sort of insight check, you can tell that he is rattled to his core. You see Captain Serana follows him, along with, Dolores Zahn, and the speaker, ushers the last of the townsfolk out of the room, and then the four of them just sort of come in and sit down sort of across from you. And Whiston, will say, this isn't the full council, but it's what we have now. We'll have a proper council meeting in the morning once I get some more information. But what happened? What sort of trouble are we really in for now?
Who wants to explain?
Cithrin will explain.
Yep.
We'll pull out a parchment to draw diagrams on.
No, we'll pull out the battle plan that we found in the keep. We'll tell the
that too,
story of
yeah.
how
Yep.
we took out the keep, found this battle plan, thought to engage their forces to buy time. That's when we sent Heidi with the first message. And then we detail exactly what forces we saw allied against us. And
So Curious will tell them.
yeah, because I tell
so
them
good.
exactly
You dealt with
I do not sugarcoat.
you dealt with the keep, and so the hobgoblins there are gone. Yeah.
We dealt
There's-
with a half dozen.
Yes.
There's hordes on its way.
thousands.
But you can stop them, right? I mean,
It's an
when you
army.
say, when you say
And they
enormous,
took everything
you
we
mean-
had to take out what was at the bridge.
We can stop them if they are kind enough to line up in a single file.
Sorry,
And come at us one at one, yeah, then we could easily stop them. That's
I'll
not going to
turn-
happen.
I will turn to the
Who-
speaker and I will ask him, have you ever seen an army?
and you can. He just sort of shakes his head. It's like, no.
Can you imagine the size of an army?
Well, if it's a couple of hundred, we could take them. And you can see he turns to Zahn and Sorana.
It
And
is
Zahn,
that-
you can see like her hand just kind of clasps her sword, and she's just like, I told you a couple of days ago we needed to flee.
It is thousands of hobgoblins. It is giants. It is a red dragon swooping
They-
down upon your town like a farmer's scythe amongst the harvest.
Their forces
And-
outnumber the town 20-1.
And you say, I mean, his face has just drained of all sort of color, and he, takes a sort of sip, and he's just, hello.
That might have been a
Yes.
deception because I don't know how many people are actually in this town.
We can't
No.
fight an army like that.
Which is
what
why
are we to do?
We
And
told you to evacuate to seek help from the dwarves, and you're choosing instead to hold council meetings. Cithrin's
Well,
getting pretty pissed off.
it's not all up to me. I
There is a
brought that up.
time-
Your message also said for us to dig trenches, and Sorana's sort of done
And-
that as well. And we've and Kellen at this point will sort of pipe up and say, what if we give him gold? What, like, can we buy them off? Like,
That's
maybe
not-
they'll
There is
just
not
pass us
enough
by.
gold in this town to please a dragon. What? There is a time for meetings and discussion and diplomacy, and there is a time for action. This is not. This is the latter. We need to get everyone out of the town and towards Brindle immediately. We've already
I
started to
pull out
enlist help.
Miha's note and slap it right down in front of him.
And he just sort of, he reads it and looks up at Sorana and just says, look, I will help rally what I can and retreat. I've seen war. Zahn has seen war. You only know peace. We follow your lead, but they're right. You have to take this to the council and let them know what it is. Yormel will have to listen. I don't care what he wants.
There can be no debate. There is not a discussion at this point. There is leave and get to Brindle and maybe live. And there is die. Those are your options. Those are the options for every person in this town.
I still have to at least hold a council tomorrow. Yormel's been...
Tomorrow.
He's got at least a quarter of the town already wanting to stay and fight.
Where
It's
is
not
Yormel?
all up to me.
Where
Where
is this
are all the
Yormel
council
right now?
members right now? Like, why
He
are
looks
they-
around. He looks around and just says, "We're all here except for Yormel. He's away. He'll be back tomorrow morning. But
Where
he owns the warehouses. He went out of town. He had some deliveries to make. He'll be back, but he's got most of the town or part of the town still thinking we can stay and fight. He doesn't
Call a
understand.
general assembly of the town. Hey, what time is it? Like it was a half a day, right? to
Yeah,
get here?
it's
A day and a half?
about 1 p.m. right now.
Call the
Oh,
town
come
together.
on. Yeah.
Everybody
just bring
who's
everyone
here,
in
call
here.
them
The entire-
together.
Yeah, the entire town needs to know this because they need to make an informed decision. Tell them you need to leave.
No, we
At
will tell them.
worst, Make it tomorrow. Everyone who's going to leave is leaving.
We will tell them.
Let me tell you about how long you have.
Let's stop talking
Tomorrow.
about it and like start moving on it.
That's what I'm
Yep.
trying to do. Call the town together. We're gonna tell the town.
I will go out and start ringing my
I
bell.
will.
Do it.
I
Town
will take-
meeting. Town
Are-
meeting.
Now, are you sure we can't
Yes.
talk to them? I mean,
We are
I guess I
sure.
don't see how it could hurt to at least ask them what they want. We could tell folks to get their children and elderly in wagons heading east to Brindle while we still can. But I mean, and you can see he's just flustered and out of his depths. Like, but I mean, can we appease them?
No,
Speaker.
there is no appeasement.
Let me ask you this. This is a town of farmers, yes?
Yes, and frankly,
You're
I
familiar-
mean,
You're familiar
looking
with
around
the
at
field,
most
yeah?
of you, they're not going to accept necessarily that some outsiders are going to, just come in
You know
and
what
do this.
goblins do
You have
for
to know how
fun.
to talk to farmers.
Right.
You know what goblins do for fun? This kind of goblin, this like assembled group.
Meanwhile, Gus is outside stopping everyone using his big, sorrowful eyes on the common folk to convince them to leave. You must get out, head to Brindle.
Hey,
If you do not get everyone out, those who remain will be tortured to death for fun.
let me speak to him. I think I can make him understand. Radigan, the folk here will step forward and say, it's a town of farmers, yes? So in the fall, there's a harvest, yes?
Yeah.
If the cucumbers and the potatoes were to come to you and say, let's work out a deal, what would you say?
And at this point, Kellen will sort of, but well, if we offer them food and gold, they might not destroy us. They might just take what they need and we'll at least survive another year.
I'm going to
Let me
interrupt
put
real
it to you
quick.
this way.
Oh.
They'll take your food or gold regardless. They don't care if you live. In fact, they find this to be real fun. Do you understand? You're dealing with thousands of reaping little sickles that are going to come and harvest this whole land of everything it's worth, and they don't care what you have to say.
And at this point, Zahn will lean in and just say, I've seen towns put to the sword before, Wystan. Death or slavery await us if we remain here. Come on. We must gather the things we can and flee east. The sooner, the better.
You should listen to her. As a matter of fact, you should tell everyone in the town to listen to her, and that it is the best thing they could be doing at this exact moment in time. And I'm going to cast Suggestion on the man.
Ooh, all right.
DC 15.
I approve of this message.
Quick, hang on. Has Cassandra rolled portents?
Yes.
She has not. So so roll your portent for the day.
No, I did. I'm going to use one of my portents to make him fail. I think the other, it's an 8.
Oh yeah, an 8 will definitely make him fail. So you see this, look of confusion and sort of anguish across his face, clears, and he just says, "You're right. I have to do this for the people. I don't want to cause panic, though." And at this point, outside, you actually start to hear people yelling and...
Oh yeah, Gus is totally sowing panic.
Yeah, and you hear the sound of, trouble happening outside. And he sort of stands and he just says, oh, what? And he will look at Serana and just say, "Get everyone in the commons tonight. I will make the announcement and start preparations for us to leave." And you'll hear... Can you get...
supplies. Can one of you start already getting supplies for the journey? Raid the warehouses. We will deal with the fallout later.
I had asked the captain to try and arrange something.
Yeah, and she will say, Jared, she has most of everything we need, I think, has been pretty much bought out. She has not been able to get supplies. And with the bridge down, we won't be able to get fresh supplies for a while. And with that, the speaker was like, "Oh, did you have to take the bridge down?" And you can see Serana looks like she wants to just slap him.
Or the bridge.
The bridge bought you time. Otherwise, you'd be dead now.
Not now, but soon.
And he just says, "All right, get everyone on the greens this evening." We will...
Earlier?
No. I need to organize and get everything ready. We will tell the town tonight. We will give everyone a chance to prepare, and we will start enacting a plan so we can get everybody out of here. And he'll look at Serana, and Serana will say, 3 days. 3 days we can have this town properly ready to go.
You might not have...
That is a very long time.
Come on, I'm not there.
Question,
Somebody
that
say you have 3
4-day
hours.
Total that we got, was that for them to circumvent the broken bridge, or is that
That
to
was
get
for them
them to Drellon's Ferry?
That was to circumvent the bridge. According to the map you had, they didn't expect to get to Drellon's Ferry until probably about the 15th, day 15, and it is currently day 5. So you've bought an extra 4 days on top of that.
That's
All right,
assuming they
so
haven't
we'll be
pushed
a
the
10-day.
schedule up.
That's good.
Yes.
So we say we may have bought you those 4 days. We don't know how long you actually have.
Actually, sorry, no. Yeah, they thought they'd be at Drellon's Ferry on the 12th day.
So 16 roundabouts when they're going to get there.
Yeah, so
Presumably.
day 5. By day 8, these guys are going to be on the move. Yeah, okay. That's better, but not great.
And she will
So-
look at you and she will say, that gets us all the food off the farms. That gets us everybody safely out with their possessions. We leave nothing for the army to use.
Do you have any townsfolk you can trust
like
to
that.
help defend yourselves, or at least for the journey?
We
She shakes her head and she says, we have a couple of, city guard and city watch. I have been running very basic drills for people. I mean, they can maybe use a spear and that's about it, but any help you can give with the townsfolk would be appreciated. But they are not warriors.
we don't have time for that, I don't think. Tell me, is anybody in the town on good terms with the dwarves down south?
And Wisdom will just say, "Oh, the dwarves, they don't talk to anybody. We've barely had any contact with them in decades."
All right.
Brindle will have some relations, but not here.
Okay. How long would it take to get someone from the town to Brindle, and then get someone from Brindle to the dwarves, and then hopefully a dwarven force back to Brindle? So here to Brindle, Brindle to the
Zahn
dwarves,
says-
and then dwarves back.
I can have a rider on one of my horses in Brindle in days. Riding
Send it
full
now.
out.
Send them now.
Don't wait
Yes.
for tonight.
Yeah.
Send them now.
I will. And you see her stride out, and as the door opens, you see the streets outside. There are people panicking and running and screaming, and you hear Augustus's voice from outside, basically prophesizing doom.
But Moradin will be your light, friends.
Oh my god.
And at this point, Cithrin, you have made your way down to basically one of the small boathouses near the docks. And you can see there's nobody even there, but there are 3 or 4 boats that are just sort of tied up.
We
To
can't
know?
take horses on those boats.
We don't need horses. We need boats.
Oh, there goes my war horse.
We'll be able to get Gus
Lend it-
on there, lie
lend
him
it to the
down, but that's
town.
about it.
Lend it
Yeah.
to the town. Give another person something to ride. It'll
Yeah,
it'll help us.
I'll go track down Captain Serana, and I'll sort of tell her about the horses and that they could borrow them.
You put 2 little cute kids on the back of your horse. But it is too big for us.
So there's nobody there with the boats?
There's nobody there. And I mean, even as you're sort of approaching, one of the city watch comes up to you and just says, you need a boat? You just come book it out from us over at the watch. It's 2 silver a day.
I'll look at him as like, what have you heard happening in the town recently?
And he sort of looks at you and just says, well, we've been told by Serana that there's, the farm raiders and maybe worse, and that we might have to either defend as best we can or leave. We've been, and he sort of points, and you can see along the river, there's a few small sort of defenses that have been built up. And he says, but, we do what we can. But
Take me to your watch. Is the Serana the watch captain?
yeah, she's the captain.
Okay. Well, your captain will be filling you in soon enough. I don't believe it's my business to do so, but we are going to.
What do you mean?
Excuse
How
me.
bad is it? How bad is it?
Calm, please. It's bad. There's an army coming down here, and my friends and I are hoping to take the boats to seek more aid from the elves to save the town.
Okay. And the captain knows this?
The captain knows this. My friends are speaking with her in the tavern right now, and we're formulating a plan. But we need these boats to get up to the swamp elves. Swamp elves, right?
Yeah.
as quickly as possible.
Okay. Well, you just you guys take what you need.
Thank you.
I'm sure the captain will be fine. And
We will-
at this
we
point,
will
you
pay
can
if
start to
we
hear
will-
yelling and screaming coming from the
Good
town,
Lord.
and he sort of looks over. He's like, I should go see what that is.
Yes, please help keep the people calm. I believe one of my compatriots may have been a little overzealous. We will pay if needed, but we need to move more than dick over funds. But thank you.
Just buy the boat.
Yeah, he will just say,
Fine, bro.
it's up to the captain. I don't even
But-
care, but I gotta go.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like here's the thing. Cithrin doesn't want to dick around with money. She doesn't want to go searching out, hey, let's go to the watch and rent it. Like she doesn't want to deal with any of that. She just wants to grab the boats and go. So she's like, you know what? We're taking these. We'll pay you later if we have to, but we need to move.
I mean, is this really
That's
the first
basically
place
her whole attitude.
Is this the first place we've looked? Maybe we should go and check out a couple more lots, maybe do a test drive.
No, Cithrin is just basically going to pick out the sturdiest, fastest looking boats and start now that she's here at the boat, she's going to start prepping stuff as best she
Put
can.
that Luskin training to use.
Yes.
Yes, and eventually the city watch comes out, and Serana will come out and start to sort of calm the townspeople a little bit, and she will shoot you the dirtiest look, Augustus, and just say, "This is not helping.
I was getting okay.
Do it in an organized manner." You can see there are people that are just banging on the doors of the general store and sort of calling for Jarrett and asking for whatever supplies they can get. People are panic buying toilet paper. It's just craziness there.
Social distance! Social distance!
I would totally say take inspiration, but good to DM.
Oh no, I'm totally good with you guys. Oh, you mean inspiration for me? Oh yeah. No.
You can't build fortifying walls out of toilet paper, people.
All right. So with that, you guys have the afternoon to sort of organize and do what you will. You know that Dolores Zahn has sent people off. So you guys were currently there. And now, there are people sort of meeting on the green. You've got boats set aside for you. And, the general store down here is, kind of been crazed. And so you guys spend the afternoon helping the town. You're getting people organized. You're starting to, create plans with Serana and everybody else. Is there anything specifically else that you guys would like to do?
I actually do have something I would like to do.
Me too.
Yeah, same.
So, what was the name of the guy who the last remaining guy on council?
Iormel, Iormel. He owns one of the warehouses, but he's just out of town, and you were told he would be back for tomorrow morning.
Okay. So I'm gonna flag down Captain Serana and say, "Hey, Iormel, where does Iormel live? If you don't mind me asking."
And she will say, "Oh, no, it's fine." And she'll point you out one of the houses down here because his main warehouse is right there.
And he'll just nod and look at the warehouse and say, "Ah, that's a mighty fine warehouse. I remember having to defend a warehouse against a were-rat once. God, that was fun."
Memories. We're big
Absolutely.
adventurers now. We upgraded to dragons.
Medium.
Yeah.
At best.
Anyways, sorry to take up your time. You go on ahead, and then as Serana runs off, I'm going to flag down everyone else in the party, and I'm going to say, "Isn't it just convenient that Iormel is gone at a time when an army is coming towards town?"
Is
Could
it
be, but
malice or is it?
just bad
ignorant?
luck.
I know one way to find out.
As do I. I like the way you think.
And I point out to where his house is to Ezekiel.
We'll meet
All
you there
right.
after we take care of everything else today.
Sounds good. But we might need to potentially knock off a required vote in council. It
Are we
depends on
going
how
evil?
that goes.
How it goes, yes.
Yes.
Why are they whispering?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's all good.
Secrets.
All right, so mine's a quick one. I'm going to use one of my sending spells because it's a new day since we cast them last time. I'm going to send one up to the Cairn as well to try and get them to send word, if they can, to the dwarfs to the south. Maybe they know somebody.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, they hear your message and they will say, we owe you one. We will see if we have any contacts left with those dwarves. They're kind of bumpkins, but we may be able to help you out.
Sweet.
I guess I'm last.
I also have something that I want to do. Mine thing's not very major.
Mine will take time, but it's very simple to explain. I want to go around to as many of the farmers that I can, and give them a little bit of help, and just sort of give them a 15-minute chat to see if any of them are decent hunters, and if so, sort of gauge how well of a hunter they might be, so I can get a close group of people who might be good to help defend people with their bows.
All right. Yeah. As you go around and take a look, you only find one or two that have any sort of bow ability. Most of these are really pure farmers. And, they show you that Serana and some of the city watch have taught them how to use basic spears. But it's, you figure you've got, a couple that are decent with a bow, none of which would sort of qualify themselves as hunters. This is a farming community. A couple of people say, good with crossbows and things like that, but actual bow and arrows, not so much.
Yeah, any crossbow or bows and arrows, anything that would allow them to be supportive.
You've got about half dozen that all have like crossbow, and they can use a crossbow reasonably well.
And I assume that Serana knows all this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be able to point out to you
yeah,
the ones that she thinks are actually capable. And so there's a mix of men and women that she sort of points out. But most of them you can see they're commoners.
Okay. Yeah, my thought was just, if there were anyone else I could potentially point out that she might not have known, just give her just many more people to help watch the caravan as it's traveling.
Sure. Give me an insight check as you go around and talk to people.
It's not my day.
It is not. That is an unfortunate natural one. So with a 3, you go around, you don't manage to find anyone else that she hasn't already pulled forward. But I will give you inspiration for the attempt.
Cool.
And I want to give, because I'm terrible at giving out inspiration. I always think about it after the fact. I'll give it to Ezekiel for the suggestion, and to Augustus for going and causing a fucking panic, much like you would.
All right, I have one thing that I want to do. Speaking of the suggestion,
Sure.
I'm going to pull aside Delora and Serana and tell them what I did and apologize for it, and ask them to make sure the speaker understands that it was necessary when he is no longer being charmed.
Oh, you guys all dropped off roll 20 again.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one more thing I want to do.
And Zahn will look at you and just say, yeah, I fucking knew that.
Okay. I knew you were adventurous, but sometimes my silver tongue can fool anyone.
I have one more thing I want to do.
I could make
I
you
want
a
to
silver
volunteer Duma's services
As what?
as caravan guard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
sure.
idea.
Yeah. He will gladly look after that and tell you guys he will meet you back up in the swamp area as need be. And, he then immediately turns and, starts helping out and intimidating people and, loading carts and wagons up, basically at triple the speed everybody else was able to manage.
And just as he gets just out of earshot, I'll be like, Duma! And he'll look back. Don't fall in love!
So Cithrin doesn't have anything in particular she wants to do, but she has a visual demonstration planned if any of the townsfolk needs convincing when everyone's like all gathered around for the meeting.
All right. And as you're going around, there are quite a few people you can see that are sort of sitting on their porch and sort of shrugging and saying, Yormel's right. We're going to fight. Like, this is our town. We're not going to be bullied out of here. Who the hell are you people to tell us what to do?
How many of these people are congregated into one spot?
You see there's 3 or 4 of them that are sort of sitting around and, they're basically saying, look, we know what we're doing here. This is our town. We've lived here our whole lives. Who are you to come out here and tell me that I got to leave my land?
So Cithrin will gather up these supplies again if needed, but I really want to do this, so I'm going to do it now. So Cithrin's going to be quiet, and she's going to lay out a bunch of glass figurines on the ground, and she's going to show them a bucket. She's going to throw in a couple of large pebbles and 1 fist-sized rock, give it a nice good shake, point to the glass figurines on the ground. This is your town. These are your husbands, your wives, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, every person you ever knew. And then she's going to hold the bucket in front of them. This is what's coming for you. And dump it on top of the glass figurines.
I was honestly hoping for sock puppets, but that works too.
And then
roll me an intimidation check, please.
When it's done, she's going to point the sand is the hobgoblins, the large pebbles are the giants, and that fist-sized rock, that's a red dragon. Do you still want to fight?
Damn.
Nope, that's investigation.
Crap. Did I get advantage for the visual aid?
Can she keep the 19?
Oh, we'll see. We'll see what the advantage is.
How am I -1 in it? Oh my god.
That's charisma.
I use my portent? No.
Nope, you're not there.
Yeah.
I thought she had advantage. She did an investigation, not a.
Yeah.
Yeah, with advantage, she rolled. Yeah, with advantage, she rolled a.
St. Fantasy Grounds, right?
She rolled a 4 and a 2, or.
Fuck me.
Yeah. So they look at you and they're just like, oh, "Thanks for the dumb show." And like one of them actually like flicks a copper at you and just says, "I love performance art." And they're looking at you as like, well, if that's what a dragon can do in your kind, it seems we could probably handle you.
Oh, she's going to fire off her frost breath right by his head. Not hitting him, but like having it go past his ear at the one who said that.
And with that, they will all like immediately just sort of leave the porch and sort of run into their house.
Now
you met a bunch of libertarians.
Now imagine if that was fire! I'll piss on your graves, you dumb pig bastards! And I'll walk away.
I'm sensing a lack of respect.
From inside the house, second-rate dragon comes out. Oh.
If they have not joined the group tomorrow, assuming we're still in town, I'm going to set their house on fire.
Please do not set that house on fire.
Wow, we're going really evil. The quarantine
We're not
has
going
messed
evil
with us.
No,
He's
no.
setting random people's houses on fire.
Set their house on fire to get them out of it, so they have to join the group.
Curious, don't. If
Yeah,
they
don't
want to
set
be
their house on
stupid
fire.
and if they want to be stubborn, let them dig their own graves and be buried in them.
Russ will come by later with his big sorrowful eyes, and he'll have Curious behind him with his big sorrowful eyes, and we're gonna go to big shiny anime sad eyes and convince them to leave with everyone else.
No, let them die.
Your
Let
heart
them die in their
read your heart
stubbornness.
of darkness. You can't convince them of that. You would be able to convince them to fight alongside you.
They are. We are working together in a fight to save these people. And
my
with
God.
Exactly.
that,
We
they
stay.
have to
This
go.
is our land. Our land.
No, you
All
must
right.
go. Oh, forget it.
And you take inspiration for that, Tara, as well.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for
Alright.
your roles, but it actually played out nicely.
Thank you.
There's always got to be some jerks in town.
Yeah, and at that point, you know what? Cithrin's just gonna be like, let the stupid dumb bastards die in pain and terror. But they deserve it at this point.
All right. With that, evening comes, and everybody sort of gathers on the hill. And how long does your suggestion last for? It's 8 hours?
8 hours.
Yep. So we are still clearly within that window.
Yeah,
as-
it'll last till 9 o'clock, right?
Yep. As everybody is collecting in the town, green and the square, when did you want to head off to Yormel's house, Radigan? After the speech or during or?
I want to do it before.
Okay, so this is the time for that as everybody is gathering.
Yeah, and I sort of hustle the party together, and I say, Yormel is very conveniently out of town for this. I want to make sure.
I do think you might be seeing an issue where an issue doesn't exist,
Right.
but I would like to make sure as well.
Right, and this is why we confirm these things. And so I sort of sneak up to the front of Yormel's house and sort of make sure that no one's around, and I try to break in.
All right. I mean, are you going to do it gently or are you going to do it forcefully?
Please. Radigan is a gentle soul.
You send your turret through the door, huh?
That to all the people you've killed with the crossbow.
Not just up.
Yeah,
These
you
will
find. I mean,
check
this is an older house, very simple lock. You are very easily able to work your thieves' tools into the lock and pop it open.
Excellent. And at this stage, I am going to sort of poke my head in, make sure that there's nobody home.
The house is currently empty. It has a very old man smell to it. It's slightly sour. It's a, simple, barely a 2-story house. You enter into a small foyer. You can see there's a living area, a small eating and kitchen area. There's a separate sort of office, which is clearly where he does his work for the warehouse from. And then there's a set of stairs leading up.
Excellent. So I head straight for the office, pop down a little monocle from under the hat, casting guidance, and I would like to investigate this place.
All right, give me an investigation check. I mean, this is a very, very tidy and clean office. You can see there are a couple of large leather books that are on the desk. The desk drawers themselves are locked. There's a couple of sort of simple cabinets and, lots of sort of sheafs of paper, but everything is very neat and organized. With your investigation, what did you want to look at first?
I'm looking through the desk drawers.
All right, give me another thieves' tools check just to pop those open. Again, they're very simple locks. It's a very old desk. Yeah, it takes you a matter of seconds just to get them open. Inside, you find a small lockbox, and in one of the other drawers, you find some old sort of keepsakes and knickknacks sort of put aside. You see what appears to be a portrait of himself, or you see, a man with sort of longer brown hair and then a younger woman together, and basically just some receipts and things like that.
Okay. I sort of very briefly go over the receipts. I'm looking for letters. I'm looking for possible little red hand symbols painted on things. You said there was a lockbox. I would like to check that for traps and pop it open.
All right. It is not trapped, and you are easily able to sort of pop it open. Inside, you find a small sort of satchel that has about 75 gold in it, and as well, there's another little pouch that has 50 silver and another one that has 50 copper in it.
All right, I'm going to leave those right where they are. Gonna sort of.
Yeah. Other than that, checking through the desk and the papers on there, you don't find anything that appears to have the red hand or symbol or anything sort of incriminating necessarily. You do find sort of tucked in the back of one of the drawers a second set of books for the warehouse.
So time to pop open both books and see what the discrepancy is.
You find as you scan through it, just some minor discrepancies here and there, but clearly he is making the warehouse seem a little less profitable than it actually is. So he's a little skimpy on his taxes.
All right, so far all I'm seeing is just the usual sort of thing that a warehouse owner might be involved in.
Yes, you've only investigated his desk at this point. If you want to check the rest of the room, give me another investigation check if you want to look for any like hidden areas, things like that.
I absolutely will. So that's a guidance and 19.
19, you don't find anything else in this room. Did you want to do a quick sort of scan of the rest of the house?
Yeah. Rest of the house, primarily upstairs, presumably is sleeping. His bed chambers are up there. I want to see if he's got any like personal papers that might. I'm not going to spend more than like 10-15 minutes in this place.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to toss the house.
Yeah. Give me, you do a cursory sort of glance through the first floor. Give me an investigation check then for the bedroom upstairs to see what you find.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, with that, it's still a 10. You do find, an old package of letters that is tied up. You find, simple sort of keepsakes and knickknacks. You find a closet that still has women's clothes hung in it, but they're very sort of old and dusty, things like that. Nothing incriminating pops out.
All right. So that's my investigation. I am going to, again, I'm not here to toss the place, and I'm not really here to sort of leave a lot of evidence of my passing. So I'm going to lock the door on my way out.
All right. And as you are stepping out and locking the door, you catch the scent of smoke. And turning and looking to your right, you see smoke starting to billow out of the warehouse and some flames starting to lick up the side.
Oh, that's not good.
And we'll now go back to the speech. So the speech has sort of begun, and the speaker has come out, and he's still very nervous, but you see he steadies himself, and Captain Sorana is up by his side, and he tells the town of the great sort of deed that you guys have done, but also what you have found, and that he believes it is time for the town to go to Brindle. The walls of Brindle can protect us. The walls of Brindle and the army of Brindle can hopefully fight off this horde that is coming down out of the mountains. We need to collect whatever we can from the farms, get all the food we can out of the ground, out of our stores, so that these marauders have nothing to sustain them as they come through. And you see Sorana sort of nod, and Zahn, who's, sort of up by the side as well, kind of nodding along. And a few of the townspeople, you hear this sort of panicked murmur. It's like, oh, the centaur was right. The centaur was right. I told you. But he does make a decree that this town has to be evacuated and that Captain Sorana is in charge and to be listened to. And he gives 3 days for us to be free from here and to head out. And, there's a quiet that sort of flows across the crowd. It's a very solid people that are here. And you can see that they are terrified, but you can also see that with a decision sort of made, they are kind of nodding and understanding. And yeah, it is at this point that Radigan starts sort of running in and yelling fire, and a few other people turn and start, oh my God, fire, fire. And a large crew of people start moving towards the burning warehouse. And, you hear a bell start to ring, and, they've got a river. You see a bucket brigade sort of starts up. Is there anything you guys want to do to help out during this time?
I will join the bucket brigade.
Uh,
Let me look.
It hasn't been 8 hours since I blew off my breath weapon at those arseholes, is it?
Not even close. It's
Damn it.
probably been about 4 hours.
I joined the bucket brigade.
What's the
Do
warehouse?
I?
Warehouse is made out of wood, yes?
Yes, it is made out of wood.
Under fire.
Okay.
Well, where's the fire?
Oh, after I complete a short rest.
Ezekiel runs there and casts wall of sand on the biggest part of the fire that he can.
That work?
All right. Yeah. So this giant wave of sand blasts across and then sort of collapses and smothers down one of the walls that is on fire. And you actually hear a few people just sort of behind you, just like, sweet Pelor, as this like wall of sand actually for 30 feet can wrap around almost two of the walls and starts extinguishing some of the external flames, which allows people to get inside and to start really throwing sort of water on top of whatever is burning and whatever is going on inside there. And it takes about 20 minutes to a half hour after this that the smoke is still sort of billowing out. The fire is
use my other 2 third-level spell slots to cut out large parts of the rest of the fire.
Oh yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Like I use up all my 3rd-level spell slots and douse the fire as quickly as I can.
Yeah. Within minutes, you just and you absolutely smother everything, and the townspeople around you just sort of turn and start clapping and applauding and like clapping you on the back. And a round of sort of cheers goes up, and then Serana sort of moves in and puts her hand up and hushes and says, "How did this start? We must figure this out." And she turns and looks at you, Radigan, and says, "What were you doing over here? You ran from here to warn us of the fire."
I did, and I saw the fire, and I ran over, and that's not a lie. And I will I will sort of look at the crowd of people that's around, and I will say, can I speak with you for a moment? I was over here for a reason. Just over here. We'll be back in 2 seconds.
Serana nods and as you're walking over, she's like, "Please don't tell me you started that."
No, I did not start the fire.
It was always burning.
Yeah, no. I was in Eormel's house, but I didn't start the fire.
What were you doing in the
find it-
councilman's home?
This is not something I do normally. I am not a thief. I find it awfully convenient that Eormel happened to be out of town at this exact moment. I was just making sure.
Why the hell wouldn't you ask me before you break into someone's home?
You were busy, and I did not want to add to the stress of the situation. If you wish to banish me from the town, I assure you, I place my I can only give you my word that nothing has been taken from his home.
She will look directly at you and it's like, you took nothing? Did you damage anything?
Absolutely nothing.
Is that
I have a
true, though,
mind
out
to
of
put you in the
character?
stocks. You are
If,
lucky you are in the position you are. You do
If that's what
anything like that again, you will be in a cell or in the stocks. Do you understand me?
if that's your judgment, then that's your judgment, and I'll accept it.
I have to say, I don't approve of you mind controlling the speaker, even though I know you're right, and I don't approve of you breaking into homes.
The breaking into home thing was my fault. I apologize. I don't know, and legitimately, Radigan doesn't really know too much about what happened with the speaker. He kind of seen this sort of thing before, but like he's
Literally, I've cast it on you.
Have you cast suggestion on me?
Yes. When we had to get the thing from you. The bit of black ice.
I'm pretty sure I saved against that.
You might have.
So how would I know?
Fair.
With that, the rest of the town is very subdued tonight. You guys can take your rest. The morning comes. You guys get a full night's rest. What would you guys like to do today?
Radigan is going to be avoiding the captain for the entire rest of the time that we're.
All right. And come the morning, you guys are all ordered to the speaker's home.
Okay.
Why are we still here? Why are we not like leaving
Yeah.
at dawn?
What happened
We
last
have to make
night?
sure the town actually evacuates.
I
Yeah,
thought we were
even
going to
at
the
dawn
Elves.
before. Yeah, even at dawn before you guys leave, though, the speaker has ordered you to his house.
Yeah, he's not happy. with this.
Somebody's charm has worn off.
What did you guys do?
But I did ask his two trusted friends to explain that it was necessary.
Yes, you did.
I was not a part of this.
Wait, what did you do?
Oh wait, that means
You
you
know
portents.
how sometimes I can
Yeah, roll
make
your
people
portents.
do things, Augustus.
Oh no, you did not.
You might need these
Sometimes
for some
I can
persuasion
make
rolls.
people do things.
You did what?
I might have convinced him to hold that meeting and to just give in to our demand.
Yeah, and I might have poked my nose into a couple of places that I shouldn't have poked my nose into.
Sitzer is going to shake her head, and she's like, "Can't leave you unattended for a minute."
I would
I
like to
can't
point out that
believe
my
you two.
actions caused the town to start evacuating today.
I cannot believe you two stirring trouble like this in the town.
Don't you start, Gus. Anyways,
Oh God, this dude's picture.
And so, come the morning, you guys find yourselves with the speaker. There's Captain Sorana, Kellen Shadowbanks from the inn, as well as an older gentleman with long white hair who's just, gives you sort of squinty-eyed, dirty looks at best. And he is introduced as Yormel, the warehouse owner. And as much as you can see it kind of pains him, he looks at you, Ezekiel, and just sort of says, well, here I have you to thank for saving my warehouse last night.
Well, It does, I'm sure, contain vital supplies the town will need in the coming day. I could not let it burn.
And he says, well, it's not my goods, it's merchant goods, but whatever is there for the town, of course, if we have to leave.
You do,
And with that,
to be clear.
the speaker sort of clears his throat and looks at you, Ezekiel, and just says, I know I hadn't been able to make the best decision, but I do not approve of what you did.
It is not something that I did lightly, I promise. The situation demanded it. And when this is done, I will make it up to you.
And at this point, Yorma will say, how do we know the whole thing isn't just a lie? That they're getting us to leave town so they can take our stuff? How do we know this? How do we know to trust these people?
Because we're trying to make you take your stuff with you.
Oh, Ezekiel will go into his bag and pull out the green dragon tooth and drop it on the table. We killed one dragon. It was a difficult feat that we are not sure we will be able to replicate.
And it was smaller than the other one.
What other one?
Yes,
The
there
red one,
is
the red
a
one.
red dragon above the camp of thousands of hobgoblins and goblins and hill giants. And I will, like, I'm holding I'll pick up the tooth and toss it to the captain.
You forgot the siege engines as well.
And
What do you,
Yorma will look at that, and you see his demeanor. He just sort of sits back and he just goes, "Oh, well." And he'll look at Wiston and said, "You said 100. You said 100. We can't fight these."
And then I'm going to minor illusion a small map of like the camp, like a small 3D model of it
Star Wars
with
Hollow
the
Map.
dragon above it.
A 5
Yeah.
foot by 5 foot war
Yes.
table.
This is what we are dealing with.
Are the miniatures in your map painted?
Oh, absolutely.
They're half painted.
It's a perfect to scale representation.
Oh yeah. No, it's better than that. It's
my
better
God.
than to scale.
Is this little centaur
The
me?
important things are emphasized.
No, you could literally just show
Yeah,
the
I could.
entire camp from the view that we had. Exactly
Anyway.
as we saw it.
That's what he's doing, anyways.
Ezekiel, like, emphasis, like, look at this. This is not something that the people here can fight on their own. That is why I forced the speaker's hand. And again, I am sorry. But we had no choice. It was for the greater good of the town. Well, the townsfolk.
And Speaker Wiston will sort of look at you and just say, I understand that, but I need you to promise you won't do something like that again.
You have my word.
Are you being honest?
Yes. Unless the situation drastically changes, I am being honest.
Ooh, that sounds like it's not a full, it's your word. You said, okay, give me a deception check, please.
Do you need assistance?
24.
Nope, you
No,
don't.
he does not.
He's a bard.
Yeah, Wiston will nod and just say, I will take you at your word. We do have another issue. And he'll point to the empty seat and he will say, last night during the fire, Councilperson Zahn, Brother Durney, and it appears Jarrett Nerth from the general store were kidnapped.
Because he has all the money from all the toilet paper.
She,
Sorry.
All right.
no,
This is our issue to
Um,
deal with.
unfortunately, in being riled up yesterday, and he'll sort of look at Augustus and
Oh, what's
say,
this? What's this behind me?
apparently some of the people here, according to Ezra, who is out in the woods, says that people kidnapped them in hopes of taking them to an old place in the mountain and raising an army of the dead by sacrificing them.
What in
Wait.
the hell is this town?
Would that
And
work?
that is where we're going to end it for the night.
Woo!
Okay,
We're-
Radicate doesn't feel so bad about
Potentially.
breaking into that guy's house then.
Yes, because that's the,
And
that's
you
the logical.
need to go get them.
Fucking
Is what I
Oh.
should have ended.
This is totally not my fault.
Because that's totally the logical next step. We got to evacuate the town to save ourselves from an army of hobgoblins. Let's kidnap a few of the members of the townsfolk to go and raise an army of the dead. That's completely logical next step.
Let's send our most morally ambiguous member to go with them and potentially come back with an army of the dead to fight for us.
Morally
Lord.
Is that
ambiguous.
Radigan or Augustus?
That's Sithrin.
Step
Yeah.
one,
Slytherin?
prepare for evacuation. Step 2, Step 3, human sacrifice. It's so logical.
Very good.
I would like to all right, with that, I will end the stream. Stay safe out there, you guys, and happy apocalypse. I would like to thank ZLT for chatting away as always. Right now, we're going to raid one of our sister streams, William John. So, starting raid.
In case things got really bad, I had this ready.
What was it?
Call emotions.
I love that spell.
Here, take a Xanax.
Yo, Wallace and
Or here, take a
good work.
Valium.
I'm glad I picked it.
Hey,
That was
Wallace
good.
Sand
That
was
was
huge
really
tonight.
good.
Oh yeah,
Wall
that was
sand,
great.
yeah, you bet.
And